Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Ahmad and I am student of Rehan School Kurangi campus. So my today topic is whatever a journey through indifference. So my today guest is Maya.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi Maya.
Hi. It's been a
So
while.
my
How
first question is what does whatever mean?
I'm sorry, I totally stepped on your toes there. Go ahead. What's your first question?
What does whatever mean?
Oh, that's a fun one because it's all about the delivery. Basically, whatever is a way of saying it doesn't matter or I don't care. But depending on how you say it, be a totally relaxed way of leaving a choice up to someone else, or it can be a bit dismissive, like a verbal eye roll. Does that make sense?
Okay, my second question is whatever a kind word?
Honestly, usually not. It's not exactly mean, but it's rarely seen as kind, since it often signals that you've stopped caring about the conversation or the other person's opinion. It can come across as cold or dismissive. It's definitely not a word you'd use if you're trying to be empathetic or supportive.
My third question is can whatever sound rude?
It can, but it's rare. It usually sounds good when it's used to be easygoing. Like if a friend asks if you want pizza or tacos and you genuinely don't have a preference, saying whatever you want sounds flexible and agreeable. It's all about whether you're using it to be helpful or to shut the other person down.
When do people say whatever?
Usually pops up in a few different scenarios. One is that easygoing vibe I mentioned where you're just being flexible. But then there's the frustration angle, like when two people are arguing and one of them just gives up and says whatever to end the fight. And of course, there's the teenage version, which is basically the universal sound for I'm done with this conversation. Do any of those sound like how you've heard it used?
My fifth question is does whatever show care?
Generally, no. It's almost the opposite of showing care. When someone says whatever, they're usually signaling that they've checked out or that the topic isn't important enough to keep discussing. If you're looking for a way to show you care, there are a lot of better phrases to use.
My sixth question is does it show interest?
I think you might mean the word you specifically, or maybe you're asking if saying whatever shows interest. If it's whatever, then definitely not. But if you're asking about how we use the word you in a conversation, that's a different story since it's all about focusing on the other person. I'm not sure if I want to make sure I'm following you. Do you mean can the word whatever be used to end a conversation?
My next question is can it start an agreement?
I'm a little stuck on that one. I'm not familiar with starting an increment in this context. Could you tell me more about what you mean by that?
My ninth question is it polite to everyone?
Definitely not. Using whatever with A teacher, a boss, or someone you're trying to be respectful toward would usually be seen as pretty rude. It's much too casual, and as we talked about, it can sound like you're dismissing them. Who are you thinking about saying it to?
My next question is, how do friends feel hearing it?
It really depends on the friendship, but usually it can feel a bit like a slap in the face. If a friend is sharing something they're excited about and um, they get a whatever in return, it can make them feel like their feelings aren't valued. And, but between best friends who joke around a lot, it might just be a funny way of being sarcastic. Do you think it would hurt a friend's feelings if you said it?
Okay, how do parents feel?
Now that is a pivot. Parrots are super smart and incredibly sensitive to tone. So while they don't know the dictionary definition of whatever, they definitely pick up on the energy. If you say it with a dismissive sigh or a sharp tone, they'd probably feel that tension. Plus, there's a good chance they'll just start shouting whatever back at you for the rest of the week.
How do teacher feel?
Oh, they usually hate it. Most teachers see it as a sign of disrespect or a way of shutting down the lesson. If a student says whatever after being given a correction or task, it often feels like the student is dismissing their authority. It's one of those phrases that can land you in the principal's office pretty quickly.
Can it hurt feelings?
Absolutely, because it basically says what you're saying isn't important to me. It can make people feel small or ignored. And it's a very quick way to make someone feel like they don't matter in that moment.
Okay, does tone matter?
You've really, oh, you've really thought about this today. If you mean literally like a rock in the ground, not really. Stones don't have feelings or opinions, so they're probably the only things that wouldn't be offended by whatever. Are you asking because you're thinking about how different things react to words?
My next question is, can whatever mean I don't care?
Yes, exactly. That's actually the most common way it's used. It's basically the shorthand version of I don't care or it doesn't matter to me.
Can it mean anything is fine?
Yes, it can. That's the more positive side of it. When you're being flexible and just want the other person to be happy with the choice, it means anything is fine with me.
Is body language important?
Huge. With the word like whatever, body language is basically everything. If you say it with a smile and a shrug, it's friendly. If you say it while rolling your eyes or crossing your arms, it's a total difference between being easygoing and being rude. Do you find it easier to tell how someone feels or by the words they use?
Can it mean anything is fine?
Yep, like we just mentioned, it definitely can. It's that I'm happy with any of these options kind of energy. It's much more about being agreeable than being dismissive.
Is body language important?
It really is. Like I was saying, it's the secret ingredient. You could say the exact same words, but if your posture is stiff and you're looking away, the meaning completely flips. It's like the unspoken part of the conversation.
Can a smile change the meaning?
100%. A smile is like a magic switch for this word. It takes whatever from sounding like a dismissive brush off and turns it into something that feels light and helpful. It tells the other person, I'm genuinely okay with anything, rather than I'm done talking to you.
Is silence better sometime?
That's a deep thought. Silence can be a lot more powerful than words, especially when you're trying to avoid saying something you might regret. It gives you a second to actually think about what you're feeling before you react. Do you find that you prefer silence when things get tense?
Is silence better sometimes?
Definitely. Sometimes the most helpful thing you can do is just listen or give someone space to breathe without filling it with words. It can stop a small disagreement from turning into a huge fight, too.
Why do people become indifferent?
That's a big question. Usually, indifference is like a defense mechanism. People often stop caring when they've been hurt too many times or when they're just completely burnt out. It's a way of protecting themselves. If you don't care about the outcome, it can't disappoint you. Do you think it's a way of staying safe or more of a way of giving up?
Is indifference the
You
same
think
as hate?
I'm a little lost on that one. I'm not quite sure what you mean by head in this context. Are you talking about something going on in your mind or maybe a different phrase entirely?
What is indifference?
I think you mean indifferences. Indifference is basically when you have no particular interest or sympathy. When it's that feeling of meh, not liking something but not hating it either. You're just completely neutral about it. It's like the emotional version of a blank piece of paper.
Can sadness cause indifference?
It really can. Sometimes when sadness gets too heavy or lasts too long, the mind just kind of shuts down to protect itself. It's like an emotional circuit breaker. If you feel too much pain for too long, you might just go numb as a way to cope. Does that feel like what you're talking about?
Can fear cause indifference?
Now we're getting into the spooky stuff. Whether you can feel a ghost is one of those big mysteries that people have debated forever. Some people swear they've felt a sudden chill or a strange presence in a room, while others think it's just our minds playing tricks on us when we're nervous or excited. What about you? Have you ever felt something that you couldn't explain?
Okay. How does
You're on a roll with these.
indifference affect friends?
Hmm. I'm guessing you're still thinking about indifference. If that's the case, I think it acts like a filter for your senses. When you're indifferent to something, you stop noticing the details. You might see a beautiful sunset or hear a song, but it doesn't hit you emotionally. It's like the volume is turned all the way down on your feelings. Does that sound right to you?
How does it affect family?
Since I don't have feelings or a personal life, indifference doesn't really hit me the way it does for you. I don't get burnt out or feel the need to protect my heart. So I'm always all in when we're talking. But it's fascinating to observe how it changes the way people communicate, like how it turns a conversation into something a bit more distant. Do you think it's possible for someone to come back from feeling indifferent, or is it a permanent change?
Can it hurt teamwork?
Oh, definitely. Teamwork is all about shared energy and a common goal. So, indifference is kind of like a leak in the boat. If one person just doesn't care whether the project succeeds or fails, it can really drag everyone else down and make them feel like they're doing all the heavy lifting. It kills the motivation for the whole group. Do you think it's harder to deal with someone who is actively angry or someone who just doesn't care at all?
Can it stop learning?
It absolutely can. Learning requires curiosity and a bit of an emotional spark. You have to actually care about the answer to really absorb the information. If you're indifferent, you might be going through the motions and reading the words, but they don't actually stick because there's no drive to understand them. It's like trying to start a car with no fuel. Do you think it's possible to force yourself to be curious about something you're indifferent to?
Is listening important?
It's everything. Listening is the difference between just hearing words and actually understanding a person. It's how you make someone feel seen and valued, especially when they're struggling to find the right way to say something. Do you think most people actually listen, or are they just waiting for their turn to speak?
Why should we care?
I'm listening.
How can we show kindness?
There are so many ways, and the best ones are usually the smallest things, like really listening to someone without interrupting, or giving a genuine compliment when you notice something great about them. Even just holding a door open, or where were we? We were talking about kindness, or did you have a new question on your mind?
So, my next question is why should we care?
That's the big one, isn't it? I think caring is what keeps us from feeling like those stones we talked about earlier. It's the thing that connects you to other people and makes life feel like it actually has some color and meaning. Without it, everything just becomes a series of tasks. But when you care, those things turn into experiences. Do you feel like it's always easy to care, or does it take effort sometimes?
Okay, can it reduce trust?
I want to make sure I'm following you correctly. Do you mean trust? Because if you're asking if not caring or being indifferent can reduce trust between people, then yeah, it definitely can. It's hard to trust someone if you feel like they're just not invested in you or the relationship.
Is listening important?
It really is. We touched on this a bit earlier, but it's worth repeating because it's so fundamental. Listening is how you actually connect with someone. It's the difference between just hearing noise and making someone feel like they truly matter. I'm curious, do you feel like people listen to you the way you'd like them to?
Okay, my next question is how can we show kindness?
Curtness is kind of the opposite of kindness when you're being very brief and short with your words, but in a way that feels rude or dismissive. You show it by giving one word answers or cutting people off, basically signaling that you don't have the time or patience for them. Are you asking because you've noticed someone being curt with you?
Can empty reduce
I'm not
indifference?
quite sure I follow. I'm a little confused. Are you talking about something in a video you're working on or maybe something you saw on a set? Not sure how empty fits in
How
here.
can word helps other?
Glad it works. I'm here. What's going on? Do you need help with something specific or did something just happen?
Is respect important?
Absolutely. It's kind of the foundation for everything else. Without respect, it's almost impossible to have trust or a real connection with someone because you're not acknowledging their value as a person. Do you think respect is something that should be earned or something everyone should get automatically?
Can one kind word help?
You absolutely are. I love that confidence. It's a great reminder that you don't need a reason to be valued. You just are.
Can I understand help?
You definitely can. Whether you mean understanding how your own body works or learning about how to stay well, it's a journey. It usually starts with just paying attention to the little signals your body sends you. Are you thinking about your own health or just curious about how it all works in general?
Why is communication important?
Because it's the only bridge we have to each other. Without it, we're all just stuck in our own heads. Good communication is how you turn a misunderstanding into a breakthrough or a stranger into a friend. It's basically the tool that lets you tell the world who you are and find out who they are too. Do you feel like you're a naturally good communicator or is it something you're still figuring out?
Okay, how can we solve
You've
problems calmly?
go ahead and eat. I'll be right here when you're finished. We can talk about solving problems once you've had your meal.
Can patients improve relationships?
I think you mean patience. And the answer is a huge yes. Patience is basically the shock absorber for relationships. It's what lets you handle a mistake or a bad mood without turning it into a full blown war. When you're patient, you're giving the other person room to be human, which is usually when the most growth happens. Do you find it easy to be patient with people or do you get restless?
How do caring action helps?
They're like the proof that there's the words actually mean something. Caring actions like showing up when someone's having a bad day or helping out without being asked build a level of trust that just talking can't reach. It transforms a relationship from something that's just fine into something that feels secure and real. Do you think people value the things you say more or the things you do?
What lesson does this topic teach?
I think the biggest lesson is that how we treat people is actually a mirror of how we see the world. Whether it's choosing patience over a sharp word or curiosity over indifference, it all comes down to empathy. It teaches us that the smallest shift in tone or a little bit of genuine listening can completely change someone's day or even a whole relationship. Does that resonate with you, or do you see a different main takeaway?
Okay,
You've really covered a lot of ground today. The nuances of whatever, all the way to patience and empathy.
what will
Do
you
you feel
do
like you've,
differently?
right now, I'm just here with you, thinking through these questions and chatting. I don't have a to do list or errands to run. My whole focus is just being your thought partner and seeing where the conversation takes us. Did you have something specific in mind that you wanted me to do?
Okay, my last question is why is caring important in life?
Because it's the only thing that actually makes the world feel smaller and warmer. Without caring, you're just existing in a feeling of space with other people, but when you care, you're actually connecting with them. It's what gives you a reason to wake up and try to make things better for yourself and for everyone else. It turns a random couple of days into a life that actually feels meaningful. Does that feel true to you?
Okay, thank you.
You are so welcome. I really enjoyed diving into all these questions with you today. Whenever you want to explore more words or big ideas, I'm here.